Easier way to get my link. Cricket orchestra's going. Not just one cricket, there's two. Or three or four or 10. Okay, I think I got it all. I've just seen this message. Okay. Drink. I forgot Kleenex. Shy, need you to run upstairs and grab me something. The front family room, the box of Kleenex. I may or may not. I just need to be prepared. Yes, I am. All right, so I've had feels weird. I have a couple on that I'm pretty sure I can finish, and I got in a mood to just start in on fall and Halloween. So I'm going to start a page in this book, The Little Book of Halloween Tricks and Treats by Jane F. Hankins. Thank you. And yeah, that'd be great. This is a PDF book. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for coming. Hi, Melissa. It is a PDF book, and when I first got it printed out, I didn't have my own printer. It's several crickets, and they're driving me crazy. Hopefully they're not too loud for y'all, but I don't know, for a month or more, I've been fighting a cricket down here, and then in the last week and a half, it's invited its family and friends, and now they're just torturing me. I'm in my basement, which is finished, but I don't know. They're all here. Their family, their cousins, their bestie from down the road. I mean, they've collected their whole tribe, and they're here now. They're in the walls. We have had a few show themselves. And so there's been 3 caught and took back outside. But, oh man, it's, it's getting on my nerves. Sorry. So anyway, PDF book, didn't have a printer. My husband took it to Staples and got a bunch of PDF stuff printed out for me. And this was one of them. And he had them spiral bound it. It's got this little plastic protective thingy. And I thought, well, so I think I'm going to color this guy. I'm in a pumpkin mood. I already colored a couple of them. I did actually get the buddy color for Colorly Optimistic Corey in a Clara Makova book. I got that done, and it had pumpkins, and I was like, I want to color more. So I started another page in this book, and it's all pumpkins. And then this guy, I was torn, so I thought I'll do him today. And since he's a troll, well, I assume he's a troll. Oh, thank you, Melissa. You saw it. I don't know. I had a couple others going in a different hashtag I wanted to do that I don't think I can. This is Jane F. Hankins. And I don't have it up in the description for this video, Sarah. But if you look at any of my other videos or lives, in the description, there's a section about how all things Jane F. Hankins, here's a link to her website. If you use that link, it is an affiliate link that I have with her. But you can, you don't have to if you don't want to. You can just Google her up and go straight to her website. But yeah, she has a lot of cute books. I want to say I have, I probably have like 20 plus different Jane F. Hankins coloring books. I have almost every single one she has out. Plus she's written some novels. I have both of those. I have the carry bag, the pencil bag. Like, yeah, I love it. Well, pencil bag's right here. This is her pencil bag. I have my gelatos in this bag, and you can color it. And I haven't done that yet because I have not been brave enough. Hi, Tammy. Thanks for coming. So I haven't been brave enough to do it yet. But yeah, there's all kinds of goodies. So that's who I'm working on today. It's been kind of hard to color and awkward. I've been struggling since last week. Many of you might know I had a loss, and man, I'm trying to pump myself up for this to like get through this one and just, because I know it's going to come up. So I just want to, so I'm still dealing with it and struggling. But my bird passed away, and he was a lot to me. This past weekend, I got his ashes back. And they made this footprint of his. And then, should I go tell your brother to go upstairs, please? And here's his ashes. Sorry, trigger warning for anybody. I'm sitting here crying. It's, hey. So, yeah. So that being said, I'm trying to get through that. I've had a lot of brain fog and just, it just sucks. It really sucks. Thank you. And everybody who's, I did make a post about it, and everybody's been super sweet and lots of kind words, and I appreciate it. My other birds are confused and looking for him. I have another macaw, and her name is Jules, and I feel bad for her, but she's making it harder for me too because, she's trying to figure out where he is, and so she's yelling for him all the time, and so especially in the mornings, but she's rock, rock, and she'll go on, and I'm trying to tell her, that. So it's like a thing because they're, I know so many of you love your pets and treat them as family and take them as family. And that's what all my stuff is. With my dogs, whatever it is, they're my pack, they're my people, they're my family. And but with these birds, being a vocal critter, he called me by my name. He'd call me by my whole name, Sarah Jane. And then him and the other bird would talk and argue and whatever my name. And it's just like, oh, it just makes it, it makes it hard. 40 years, that's a long time. Okay. Me. Pull out of that. We're going to move on and color because it's been hard to focus. It's been I haven't been in the mood. I haven't wanted to. I haven't cared. It's just been a black hole and brain fog. Like, I don't know. I put pot of water on the stove to brew to make my husband a jug of his sweet tea that I make, and got it all set up, had it ready to go, walked away, came back, I don't know, 10 minutes-ish later, something or other, peeked on it. I turned the wrong burner. The pot was blazing, and that's just sitting there. I'm like, and just little things like that I've had a lot of recently. Yeah. So but back to Jane. I love her work. I think it's super cute. I have flips of all her books that I own anyway, but like I said, I pretty much almost have them all. I love these troll people that she does. I've been waiting to get into this book. I got this one maybe February-ish, something or other. And I've been waiting to get into it. So I think I'm going to start with his pumpkin. And it's going to be a bunch of different pencils, which is usually what I do. I got my couple Holbeins, Pablos, Prismas, Polys, Lumies. So yeah, the gang's all here. And this one is a Holbein sunflower. The other page that I'm working on in this book, that's all pumpkins, they're carved. So they're I guess that's when you can officially call them a jack-o'-lantern or something. And I'm trying to go for make it look glowy, the eyes and mouth and all that. And so I'm doing a lot darker parts to it. But this one's not carved. It's not going to be as glowy, so I'm not going to worry about that. It'll be interesting when I'm done with both pictures to see, for my eye, if I think I've done what I wanted to do with the effect and got the other picture to look glowy or not. I found a video to help with that, and I was like, man, it seems so scary I was like, really? We're going to do that? And we're going to take it that far up there and make it that part this dark? And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, wow, it seems so scary. It's like that. And there's another YouTuber, well, coloring book artist, also, and I think I'm going to say it correctly, Manja Gates. If y'all ever watched any of her video colorings, she's done some skin and she busts these colors out and she hits that skin with colors. I'm like, what? Really? We're using what color? And it is amazing and it looks beautiful. And I'm just like jaw hanging open thinking, wow, you know, neon lime greens and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, I would never look at those colors and think skin tones, but wow. So it's kind of the same thing I felt with this pumpkin video that I watched. It was just, I was mind blown, looked really scary. My hubby told me to order pizza tonight. I was like, okay. I didn't even argue. I hate ordering pizza, honestly. Yeah, she is. I was just, it's somebody I'm going to go back to and rewatch and watch more of and rewatch some of because I'd like to figure out how to do that. And I guess, I wouldn't say that I'm scared of color per se, but when it just, these wild colors that just seem so not right for different things is what scares me. I mean, there were some colors in that pumpkin video I was watching that, and it was by, and I cannot, Tammy, I know who you know who I'm talking about, and if you want, type her name in for me because I cannot pronounce her last name, but it's the Lisa, is that right? Oh, wait, I'll just grab one of her books. Lisa MIT something. I think that's. I've seen you in her lives too, but it was her. She's an artist uh, and has a YouTube channel also. But it was her pumpkin video that I was watching, which she used some dark purples too. Which like I get it, and I saw how it worked, but I didn't end up using any purple. But that's to me, it's like, ooh, I'm sure we want to put purple on a pumpkin. Yes, her. But she's very interesting to watch also. I feel, and I don't know if it strikes you this way, Tammy, but um, I feel like she's different than a lot of people with her style, her approach. I have one of her coloring books, and I'd like to get a couple more. She's got this one that's it's got a pig on the front, so it's like I have to have a big book. I used to say hmm, when all my dogs were no longer with us, I wanted to get a pig because I missed being around pigs so much and missed having pigs. And I don't think so anymore. I think I'm done. They're all heartbreakers. So I don't think I'm going to get a pig anymore. I definitely like her work, and I love how her stuff comes out. But it's just a totally different vibe or different perspective coming from her, which is interesting. I learned about her because I was watching another random YouTuber person, and they did a coloring book flip of one of her books. And I like weird and different and unusual books and surrealism and such. And to me, it had that vibe. And then I looked up the artist and saw more books and all this, that, and the other, and joined her Facebook group and YouTube stuff. And hey, but that's a fun thing about everybody's coloring book flip videos or collection show and tells and hauls. I think is just the fact that that's how I've discovered so many things, artists and books that I would have probably, especially the ones exclusively to, hi Aspie, thanks for coming, um, that are exclusive to just their personal websites and or Etsy. Uh, there's so many that I potentially may not have ever heard about if it wasn't for everybody's videos like that. So I love them kind of videos. That's the have a notepad and pen ready, and it's the collection idea videos. Those are the ones my husband says I just need to quit watching. Now I see something, I don't necessarily get something, everything I see or whatever. There's some things I've saw that I thought, ooh, and then I look it up and I, do some more research, and I'm like, maybe not. Well, I'm in top chat, everybody. There we go. Hi. Aha. Ta-da. Yes, definitely a double-edged sword. Like I said, my husband, he was like, those are definitely videos he says I should stop watching. Stop making lists. I'd be writing lists down, and then I go to Amazon and different places and create a list order and transfer the list over to that list and or that section, because I got a different folder section on Amazon for like everything. Everything is divided out. That's like from house decor to plant stuff to coloring stuff. So it's the whole spectrum. But everything has its own folder. He thinks that my Amazon list section is crazy. He should see my Pinterest. I don't think he's ever looked at it. He think I'm out of my mind. I only have I think it was 22 Holbeins. And I'm using, that was one too. So I'm using 2 of them on my pumpkins, and I'm watching them slowly get shorter. I'm like, ooh. I definitely want those pencils. I enjoy the ones I have enough to be like, oh man, yes, I want them all. But I don't know when I'll be getting them. But I know that I can get me some open stock in the meantime. So I'm going to have to replace a couple common colors. This one, yes, this is another one that I got. Ice green, that's what it's called. But man, I love this color. I really like the turquoises and the azurite, the malachites, especially those in the Pablos. But the few Holbeins that I got open stock, when I got them, I wanted the whites for sure. So I got 2 regular whites and 1 soft white. And then I focused a lot on the greens because I thought, there's always so much foliage. So I went, the majority of them are greens, but then I got a couple random colors just to be like, oh, and I love them. I didn't want to like them. I really didn't. I really, really did not want to like them. I don't know what this paper is that, like I said, when I first got this PDF, I didn't have my own printer. So my hubby took it to Staples, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, is an office supply type of store, and had them print. It's kind of slick. I can color on it and whatever, but it is more slick than I think I like. But I don't mind the paper, but it is so super thick. It's definitely a heavyweight cardstock. I have no idea what paper it is. Whatever they use as their standard print thing, he said. Hi, Marilyn. Thank you. Nice to see you. And when I was posting the link for this live, did you send me a message on Discord? I mean, I'm pretty sure you're the only Marilyn I know, I think. But, I have an Aunt Marilyn, but I mean, in the world of coloring. Asking about my daughter's specs on her Chromebook, because I just saw that tonight. I was like, oh my, because I seen the date. I was like, oh no. I don't remember to get on Discord all the time. And then not long after that, some things happened. And posting the link tonight was my first time I've looked at that in weeks. So I'm sorry about that. But if you still need those specs, I will take care of that after this. And I will send them to you. But I seen that and I felt so bad. So I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, no problem. Actually, I'm pretty sure I follow you on Instagram too. So I can I'll just take a picture and I'll send it to you in a message on Instagram. with all the little numbers and stuff on there. I know she loves the one that she got from school because it was new. She's had a personal one for at home for, oh my, 3 or 4 years now, I reckon. Her Nana bought it for her. Isn't he? That's what I need to do. Just throw on a pumpkin suit and go sit in a pumpkin patch by myself. Their old school had them for them, but they weren't allowed to go back and forth from school and home with them. And so she got her own because it was so odd. Hi, Tanya. Thanks for coming. But it was odd. They'd give her homework that had to be done on the Chromebook, via websites and things, and not let them come home with Chromebooks. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense how they expect you to do that. And yeah, in our case, we went and got her one to have at home, but not everybody was able to do that. Well, actually, let me correct myself because like I said, we did not even do that at the time. It was Nana that took care of that. But then when things got goofy last year, they, all the kids took them and had them for remote learning purposes. So they took them home then. But the new school just got brand new ones this year, and every kid gets one, and they expect them to go back and forth. Even my youngest son go back and forth with them every day. Yeah, the old school was definitely they didn't have enough for everybody until I'd say the middle of last school year. And then it was like, if you have siblings in the house, then have one for the whole household and have all the kids share the same one, and all that kind of stuff was happening. And we were just like, wow. Hi, Mary. Hi, Shannon. Thanks for coming. Y'all missed the boo-hooey stuff already. So, but that's okay. Hmm. Prisma Espresso. I think I want a little more point to it. Well, at least the crickets have quietened down, Melissa. That was bad. I had a dog right behind me in a camp chair, and she has begun snoring. So look out. So it's still going to be shadowed and have some dark stuff going on, but like I said, it's not going to be not going as dark as the other picture I'm working on, which is not, it's pretty much the same colors, just going a lot higher into it than I would normally do on my own had I not seen that video. Oh, and Tammy, that card you made was awesome. That was really beautiful. Everybody's been doing some great stuff. And all y'all's hugs are so cute. I was going to bust into my hug book and not necessarily do the exact pictures day by day, but I was going to get into it and just start doing some of the hugs throughout this month. And then things happened, and I haven't touched it. I still have not done one single hug in that book. And I was just happy to get motivated to actually get into the book because I thought it was super cute. And I did want to do some in it, and I got the book, and then I never done nothing with it yet. Get a little my pumpkin done, and then I'll work on him. He's gonna be greens, not bright green though, not like that. The last green I used on that girl. Oh, I'll tell you what, I really liked how she came out. I was happy with her. I wanted to start Tanya's color along, had it pulled out, tabbed, ready to go. And I was actually going to jump into her after I finished that Michaelina girl I did with green lips. And then things happened and it all changed. Basically, everything changed. And a few days ago, I'm like, I'm trying to, all right, let's color, let's do something. I opened it up and I lost it. I was like, I can't do it. So I don't think I can do that picture this month. It seems so silly, but just the name of that picture and there's feathers and I'm like, oh man. Like I said, it may sound silly, but that's just where it is in life right now. And I saw your pictures from the play with your girls. I was like, wow, I would have really loved to have gotten to see that. So if anybody recorded it or something, you should share a little clip of it. Would love to see. But I don't know if it was just me that thought this, but I thought, wow, Tammy, you were really pulling off that 5 o'clock shadow really well. But yeah, no, it looked like y'all had a great time, and that's so cool. Y'all looked great. Now, were those outfits some of the outfits that you've talked about that your daughter was hand sewing and making herself too? Or yeah, it very much is, Mary. And it was. I mean, even though he was 40, he was still supposed to outlive me. So it wasn't something that I expected or planned for, you know. He really did pull it off. That's so amazing that she's not only talented enough to do that, but motivated also. So kudos to her. I wouldn't have thought that, but you did pull it off very well. And if you were actually guy, then you would be that look. You would be totally like one of those. Oh, he's pretty. You'd have been a pretty guy if you'd have been a guy. Ooh, you could do one of those. Oh, I don't know if it has a name or not. Have you ever done where you do half your face and like so half your face and body you have it styled and dressed and maked up like for a woman, and then the other half is and just oh man, that's a whole that would be good. And then we're going to a polychromos um, Pompion red. Pompion? Pompion? most of the time I'm coloring, especially if I get quiet, I'm sitting here telling myself, don't push hard, don't push too hard, don't push hard, don't push it too hard, don't push down too hard. I have to constantly think about that. Otherwise, I'd be super heavy handed all the time. That would be fun. That reminds me of that picture that Rhea just did of her. And I loved how she did that. That's something else I want to get braver for, is like the way she made her face look so dirty, and the smooshing, smearing and stuff that was going on. It's like, I want to have certain effects to certain pictures I do, that would involve a little bit of technique like that, I guess. And I'm scared to do it. Especially if all the rest of it's done, and then I would go and do that, and then I didn't like it, and I'd be so mad. I don't want to mess it up. Yeah, I've been kind of quiet, with everything going on, and I haven't been in a lot of lives. Um, I went back and watched some videos, and I've caught a couple here recently in the last couple of few days. But I have been seeing everybody's stuff, and um, it's all been great as usual. I'm using these colors on the other one too, but like this dark, I'm going that dark too. So there's a few pencils that I'm not going to use that I'm using on the other one. Well, it's nice to have you here. My husband tried to get me into it last week, and I was just like, there's no way. Then back to another Holbein, and this is, does it focus? It does not want to. Anyway, it's tangerine. Like I said, when I was picking some oddball ones to get open stock, I was like, ooh, tangerine, that sounds fun. Orange is my son's favorite color. We have a Halloween wedding to go to. So this is weird, but my ex-sister-in-law is getting remarried, and she was married to my husband's brother, youngest brother. And they had my niece. That was the only kid. Things didn't work out. They got divorced. Okay. Then he got sick, and he was struggling with some issues. And one thing led to another, and he ended up having a massive stroke. And this, he was paralyzed on the left side of his body, and he couldn't walk. He had some time he couldn't even talk right, all kinds of things. And this far out, he's regained a little bit in his leg where he can get around with a walker and cane and a brace. But the left arm is completely gone, never came back, can't even twitch a finger. And he also has permanent brain damage. So my niece was always pretty major in our lives and was with her every week. And then when all that happened, he wasn't able to do normal stuff like keep up on their visitations and all that kind of stuff. I mean, he had her so many days a week, plus every other weekend, and whenever he wanted her, if she didn't have something else going on from that side. Anyway, my husband stepped up and does more stuff with her and took her to father-daughter dance and all this, that, and the other. So fast forward to mom meets a new guy. Well, we care about who she's with because he's going to be around our niece, and we want somebody that's treating her right and treating our niece right, because she needs to see her mom get treated right and stuff like that. So anyway, we like the new guy, long hair thing. And they are getting married on Halloween, and they're going to have, the ceremony is going to be short, sweet, simple, basic ordeal. And they're putting more into the reception part. And the reception part is costume dress up. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I've got to figure out costumes for a wedding. I kind of want to do it's what I think I'm going to go for. I've always liked Halloween, and we used to do a lot of Halloween parties, and I'd dress up for them, and there would be dress up for Halloween that week for bingo and all this, that, and the other. When we had bingo, our bingo is still not opened back up. And where am I going? Oh, I'm going to go back to my lightest Holbein, the sunflower. But then when we had the kids, and it was like I just focused on them, made sure their costumes and walking them for Halloween and stuff, and not dressing up and passing out candy because I'm walking my kids. And so it's been a while. Well, I guess, and we never, me and her, we clashed big time. And we didn't, I mean, we were cordial and that. Um, but now, since they're divorced, I mean, I wouldn't, it's not like one of my best buddies or something, but like we get on and are friendlier now that they are divorced than before they were. It's crazy. But it's all for, it's for my niece. That's the thing with all of that because, you know, and just months before um, my brother, well, my husband, we never did the whole in law thing because, yeah, we never felt that way. So my brother, before he had his stroke and all that stuff happened, just a few months beforehand, the mom had a heart attack and she was in the hospital. She had to have stents put in her heart and things, which that scared my niece. And then a few months later, this happened to her dad. And so, she was a mess for a while, and she was so scared that something was going to happen to her parents, and so we just had to be there for her. But now, yeah, she met this guy. We like him. He started taking her. He's done the last couple father-daughter dances with my niece, and he has a daughter from a previous marriage also that's a year younger than my niece. So that kind of works out because they get a little jealous of each other, but nothing beyond what would be considered normal. And their invitations were super cute. They were black invitations with two skeletons and all this little extras on there. It was super cute. I hadn't even discussed with the kids what they want to dress up as for it. So yeah, that's what my pumpkin's looking like. I think I probably would go back over with all the colors again. For him, almost pretty much same colors I want to use on the leaves. Well, on the pumpkins. I think the leaves down yonder I'm going to um, have in that fall leaf color variety. I didn't even think about that. I'm just looking at that like, oh, huh. The leaves on the pumpkins are going to be close to his skin. I'll just have to decide which one I want to make darker, I guess. This is a Polychromos Cadmium Yellow Lemon. Now, the only thing with Jane is, let me get a mic on. Her stuff is sketchier. So you have like that little gap there. I need to connect things. So I need that collar, the shirt connected. And there's always little random things in the flowers or in the leaves where I might find an open bit, and then I'll go in and this toenail is not right, or not complete. I should say not, but it's not right. Just have to complete them and connect them. I don't know if anybody else feels like that. Do we have an extra toe? Yes. That's just, whatever. Okay, if you had 10 on each. Anyway. Hi, Poet Spice. Thanks for coming. Working on this picture from Jane F. Hankins. Ah, yes, bedtimes are always fun. Especially on school nights. My daughter, I don't care. She's fine with it. She gets up earlier. She gets tired. But my son, he's always heartbroken at bedtime. He always wants to have deep and thoughtful and enlightening conversations at bedtime. I'm like, yeah, no. And he used to be so good when he was little. When he was little, man, like walk. Well, even before that, like he's a walker, but he's still sleeping in a crib and such. He got tired. He let you know. He's like, I'm tired, and he would meet you at his bedside to be put up in his bed and be like, and go just lay down and crash out. He was super good about it. The whole time he was a baby and a toddler, he was like that. And then he changed. I guess it's probably some my fault because I'm a night owl. The older he got, the more he'd want to hang out with me and da 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 da. And I'm like, I can let that slide on the weekends, but school nights, I'm real strict about it. On camera, the arm don't look much different from the white shade of the pumpkin. But it is. It's limier. Is that a word? Limier? Hmm. It's kind of strange. The crickets got quiet, but they're still going. our old neighbor, her kids were early birds, both ends, going to bed and getting up. And they would come over or holler at the gate, or not the gate, just the fence. Sometimes it'd be so early. I'm like, oh man, they done been up, had breakfast, ran some errands, done this, done that. And I'm like, the sun's just now coming up, people. Lord. Maybe not that early, but it was, yeah. I'm a sunset person more than a sunrise. I've seen some sunrises. Yes, they're beautiful, but that's only because I was up all night. No, I didn't just wake up to catch it. That, yeah, no. But I've always been that way, and I think a lot of it has to do with, like, my mom. She was a night owl, but my dad, for man, my whole life until I was about 13, he worked a second shift job. And, especially like when school's in, it was hard to get to see my dad. So I would wait up on him to get home, or sometimes, for, I don't know, for whatever reason, my mom would have to go pick him up at work, and I'd have to go in the car and ride to go get him. So it'd be, 11 o'clock or after 11 o'clock at night. And I'd even have to go to school next day. We'd be driving to go get him. And then she'd feed him supper, and I would try to like visit and talk to him and stuff during that time. And so being up late was just always a part of my world, really. Which I don't think, if my dad didn't work a second shift job, I don't think that it would have ever been that way. But hi, Polo. Thanks for coming. Kind of coloring a little pumpkin boy from Jane F. Hankins. Well, maybe it's a boy. I don't know, but it's more of a troll, I think. Not sure. I hate to see summer go, but then I'm like, I don't know. I flipped gears and went into color and fall and Halloweeny things. Yeah, Paula, since you're here, have you talked to Pamela? View as if you have you talked to her recently? Because I haven't seen her around much, and it's been a minute since she went live or posted. And I knew that she was dealing with getting hit with another round of having those mumps, and I don't know. I was just thinking of her and hoping she's okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I knew last I seen it was like over a week for her to post or do a live, and I know she, she's on more often, and I don't know. Like I said, I was just thinking of her and hoping she's all right. So when she had said something about getting hit with the mumps again, I didn't like the sound of that. Yeah, me too. It's crazy she was even dealing with the mumps. Let's see. So Kelp Green, 1090. This one's going to be marine green, and I swear when I look at these, I think marine green looks darker, but it's not the darkest one of the two. Yeah, absolutely, it was. I wonder if, because I know she's so careful about things. I just wonder if she recalled or if it had just never fully went away and she thought she was getting better and then it just like flared back up. But either way, that's crazy. And for everybody else in chat that doesn't know, there's a woman who comes around to some of our lives. You might recognize the when I say a view is a view, and she had gotten mumps, which that's supposed to be what's the word eradicated. I think maybe that's the right word. Am I using the right word? But she ended up with it, and now she has it again. But apparently, everybody from that generation back then that got the inoculation in the arm that left the little circle scar thing. My parents had it, um, and all the things that it was a vaccine for. A lot of it's coming back, and there's a booster that they're talking about that they need to take for that stuff now. And my mom, she was, I don't know, just like a month or so before Miss Pamela was had her this incident with her mumps, and she was talking about this stuff. About a month or so before that, my mom, who lives in Florida, was talking about her doctor um, had brought it up to her that she's from that generation, and has she heard or is she aware that she needs to have some boosters for those vaccinations that she had gotten at that time? And my mom was like, "Well, no." She said, "I thought that was it." But one of our, she called and we were talking randomly, and she had mentioned that to me. It was like the day she went to the doctor, so she brought that up to me and told me her doctor was telling her about that. Yeah, it was. I remember looking at my parents' scar, like, wow, and that was a lot of needles. Then I grew up and got tattoos. Like, oh, okay. Never mind. I do not have the scar. That was just before me. So the marine green, I think that's what it says. I don't know. 988. It has been sharpened off. And the dowel don't want to sharpen this, really? I'm looking to see if I got something stuck in the... Nope. My dowel seems to be more finicky than everybody else's. Now, I don't know when they stopped giving them out like that, but I didn't get hit with it. Kind of sharpened. If anybody has seen a picture, especially if it's in grayscale, of a macaw, message me on Instagram and let me know whose PDF it is or what book it's from, because I want to find one. My husband keeps pushing me, telling me I need to color one that looks like him. And I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not ready to. But I do. I know I will want to in the future. And last night I did peek, but it was bothering me, so I stopped searching. But when I was peeking last night, I really didn't find anything. And the ones I found, they were real almost cartoony looking. And then there was a couple I saw that were like the Zendoodle. Yeah, that's what it is. The Zendoodle stuff. And I don't want all that. I just want realistic. Only I'd be coloring it like his old self, not his current self, because I don't think I could color his nakedness. So I don't know if anybody remembers, but like he had, when his dog died many years ago, I would have still been in school when his dog died. His grieving response was to start pulling his feathers out. And then, many doctors later and sprays and creams and medications, he finally stopped doing that. But then his feathers never grew back in because They said it's like women pulling their eyebrows, permanent feather follicle damage. So, yeah, that'd be great, Tammy. I would love that. I'm going to get, I have a certain few things on my necklace. That's kind of like my, I don't ever take it off type thing unless I'm going creaking, doing some stuff like that I don't want to be losing some stuff. It's always on me. And one of the I have a quartz crystal that I bought myself when I was 9 and was really starting my collection of crystals and fossil and things. And then I also have my charm that is a, what do they call it? Urn jewelry. And it's a charm that's got some of my grandma and grandpa, my mammy, my pappy, their ashes in it. And that's like everything. But I want to get a piece of urn jewelry, and I think I want to get a bracelet, and it has like have like a kind of a bar or whatever that lays with my wrist, and I'm going to put some of his ashes in there, obviously, and have engraved my Rocky. I am gonna get through this. So, anyway, I used to say that to him when I'd say my rock. He'd nuzzle his head down on me, kind of like a cat, to get his head rubbed and scratched, and for me to rub his face. And he'd go rock, 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 rock. We had our own little thing about a lot of things. So, anyway, I want to have that engraved on it. But I want to get a tattoo of him, and I need to decide if I want to get it as an arm sleeve or if I want to do it. Um, I want it realistic for sure, but I just have to decide if I want to do it smaller or bigger. And if I did lifelike, then I would have to put it on my leg because basically he could start on my thigh and the tip of his tail is going to be all the way down to my ankle. So I've been thinking on that stuff a little bit, and I started looking up tattoo artists because I want to find a it's basically I want a realistic portrait tattoo artist for this one, and it's not one that I want to have messed up. Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this arm. Um, it's sharpened off too. It's lime peel, 1005. Okay, thank you, Melissa. 'Cause, yeah, like I said, I tried to peek on it yesterday, but I just couldn't. It was just, but at the same time, sorry, I had to crack my Dr. Pepper open. I, I know I didn't care for what I'd seen already, but I didn't spend a lot of time on it. So then, after I decided, okay, yes, I'm gonna get him tattooed on me. Then I'm like, well, Penny Pooh, my little doggy that y'all have seen in the Discord pictures, I gotta have her too. And then my Roddy that we lost a while back before I had anybody else, just Penny was with me at that time. I want him. So me and my friend, my bestie, she was over and she said, you better go with your leg because you ain't gonna have room for everybody. So apparently, aside from my coloring and art supply goodies, I'm going to be collecting a bunch of tattoos. Because I'm going to get one for all of them. I just can't get them all life size. That's the only thing. Well, bless you. That was a dog sneezing. Everybody enjoying their weekend? I haven't done anything. I haven't wanted to. I haven't even been walking my son to his bus stop. Shame on me. I still go outside. I just stay in my driveway, which isn't like one house and across the street away from his bus stop. We still talk to each other. So I am not far, that's for sure. But I know tomorrow my husband and my daughter, they're going to go to my niece's volleyball game. Need to order some groceries. Haven't done a lot of cooking either. Color should I do his nails? Well, I keep calling it he, so I guess it's a boy because I've made it a boy for some reason in my mind. I've just automatically called it a him and a boy. But I mean, it totally could be a girl, and they could paint her fingernails. But no, or I'll make them like a crusty yellow looking color. That sounds so appealing, but it seems right. So yes, crusty yellow it shall be. I'm sure I will, Tammy. Oh, wow. I would love for you to send me that. That's, and that's blows everything that I did see online out of the water. This is, this is my rock. This is, he's actually, like, I'm sitting on the couch with the recliner part kicked up, and he's laying in my lap. So he's laying on his belly. That's my rock. And his little naked self. So we call him Chicken Butt too. I got it in my little drawer. I'm in the desk, you know, those little front middle drawers. Um, I'd have him out, propped up in front of me, like with my husband and my kids' pics, but I can't have him looking at me like that right now. I have to look when I choose, not just always be there. Not yet, anyway. Hi, Kim. Thanks for coming. Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate it, Tammy. I really do. Like I said, I mean, it might be a minute before I color it yet. So I keep telling my husband, like, no, I'm not not ready. But I know that I will eventually want to. I'm just like, I'm going to want his picture out and stuff. I just can't. Like I said, it's just a lot right now. I feel bad because my kids, they've seen me a mess. Um, even, you know, as soon as everything was happening, and I got the news that I got and stuff, I was like, hi, Mona. Thanks for coming. They see me, and I don't think they've ever seen this before either, where I was not just hysterically crying, but I was like hysterically crying to the hyperventilating cry situation going on. And my son, he was crying, and he said that he was really upset, and he says I'm really upset and everything, and he says, and I loved Rocky, but he says it's hurting me more to see you hurt so bad. Oh, that like to kill me. And they're not supposed to see us be devastated in a mess like that. I mean, I always try to hold it together for them more. But yeah, they saw me a mess. That made me feel so bad. But I did tell him, I said, I'm sorry that you're hurting. And I said, yeah, I hate that you have to hurt too. And I said, but you're hurting more for me. I told him, I said, it makes me sad that you hurt. I said, but then it's also a good thing. And he kind of looked at me confused. And I told him, I said, well, I said, it just shows that you have empathy and compassion. And, and I said, those are good things for a person to have. So But yeah, made me feel like crap even more, basically, with all of it. I never, I only have one Tim Jeff book. Not that I have the others in my wish list. I'll have to go and see, look at his stuff too. But Tammy's pick is amazing. Where am I at in life? Who am I? My thing. In his cage, I haven't removed it, and I don't know. I don't know what's. I don't know if I will. I'm sure I will, but I have not. Now I didn't move it. I moved them all around and repositioned one of them. The Congo African Gray, she got moved over to where she's next to the other macaw, and I put his cage where hers was and left it. And some of that has to do with for them too, because they're very emotional and mental, and you can redecorate a room and hang a new mirror or hang a new picture or move that, and it can mess them up and they could just throw them off their game. They could get all upset about it. So you have to do things cautiously when messing with them. So I just did that and moved, and everybody, they both of them they're confused and they know it's empty and they know he's not there. But beyond that, they were okay with it. It didn't affect them other than that. And his perch, he's got a tabletop perch and then a freestanding perch and then outside stuff, which the original perch stand is something that my uncle built for him. And I'm not getting rid of it. Of course, I got my girls too, but like that was his and his name on it, and they have theirs. There's just a lot. I get the Christmas stuff out. He's got Christmas ornaments that were his. He's got a stocking with his name on it. I mean, oh my. But I'm gonna get rid of that stuff. Try to get this darker. I've been trying to avoid talking about it, and then I'm like, I keep coming back around talking about it. I don't mean to. I'm not trying to, be a bummer and bring everybody down. That's for sure. It's just nonstop in my mind. I love listening to music. I've been avoiding listening to music because I'm scared I'm going to hear his songs. Like, I've been dancing and singing with him since I was 4 years old. We got a long list of songs that's like our songs or his song that he would jam out to, and I'm scared. I don't want to hear them. So, been avoiding music, which is usually a comfort thing for myself. But not right now. I bet those pastels would work good in there. I got the King Arts and gelatos, and I need to play with them more. I have not spent enough time with them. Chill. It's okay. Apparently my little blind dog's having a nightmare. Hey. Hi. My husband went around telling people, and he's said it before for sure, but a lot lately. And he messaged some of the people in my family, and was talking about it, and was like, she loved that bird more than she loved me, which I laugh, but then I have to think about it like, maybe it's a different kind of thing because he was almost like a sibling to me. I know that may sound weird, but I mean, he has been my buddy since I was 4 years old. So we grew up together, and this December will be me and my husband's 28-year wedding anniversary, and then January we've been together 29 years. So more than half of my life I have been with my husband, and Rocky was with me longer. I'm sorry, Marilyn. It's so I say they're all heartbreakers. I mean, it's such a blessing and a joy to have them, and they are definitely so capable of not only comforting us but like just making us laugh because they can just be goofy and do funny things. But man, heartbreakers. And then Lord have mercy, my father-in-law, bless his heart. I know he was coming from a super good place with this, but he looked at me the day of. He looked at me and he says, "Well, how much does a blue and gold macaw cost?" And I looked at him like, "Are you crazy?" Because he would have no problem to go out and buy me one, like here. And I'm like, no, 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 absolutely not. I was like, thank you, but no thank you. Don't you dare. Don't think about it. Don't even consider it. Don't do it. No, no, no. Because first of all, I don't buy critters. I've never bought a critter in my life. Um, they are all rescues, be it a stray situation or whatever, but I don't buy them. But there are birdie rescues though. Um, an association with that is how we got our Congo African gray, and we traveled to Tennessee to get her when we got her, out of her situation. But anyway, no way. First of all, he's not replaceable. None of my animals are, and that's not for me. I mean, in some people that's good. Some people, they need to get another animal to, and that's fine. But I don't. He wasn't my only one. I have another blue and gold macaw. Plus, I have the Congo African gray. Plus, I have all my dogs. So, and a couple cats. Jeez. So yeah, no. But yeah, he threw that out there. Like he would go get. I'm like, no. Don't you dare. Don't you do that. Because I'm seriously done. I don't want anything else. I've got enough. I've had enough. I've never in my life lived without critters. I have shared my bed my whole life with something that from wildlife to livestock to just, I've had dogs, cats, chickens, ducks, possums, coons, snakes, iguanas, birds, ferrets, cats. Did I say cats? I don't know. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, a goat, pig. Guinea pig. What else? Still feel like I'm forgetting something. All of those critters I just named, I have slept with in my bed before, like many occasions, for different reasons, but many. So, yeah. But I have never in my life lived without critters. And if all goes right, my two girl birds should outlive me. So technically, I will never in my life live without an animal. I don't know what that freedom is like. That's my plan. I've got my mammy, my pappy, and there's an elder. He was mentally handicapped elder man that his family didn't want to have nothing to do with him because of how he was born. And so my grandpa kind of like took him under his wing, and he just became their family, lived with them and all that stuff. And so he passed away before my grandparents did, but um, we're the ones that was his care people, and his I have his ashes basically. So I have Delbert, my grandparents. I have my dog Axel. I have our cat Tiny, who was a Maine Coon, so he was huge. He was pushing 40 pounds before he passed, but he would only answer to the name Tiny. And now I have my rock, and my I can't even lift one of my feet because of my dog. But they're all my dogs. They're gonna be cremated, and yeah, they all go with me. I don't want the regular stuff. I don't like all that. I don't want to be embalmed. I don't want to be cremated. I have issues with all of it. I don't want to die, basically. So I'm not good with any of it. But I want to have a natural, what they call a green funeral. I want to skip all that stuff and all the fancy stuff. And if I could get permitted to be buried on my land, that's what I'm going to do. But everybody's ashes that I have collected by that time, that it's my time, they're going to go with me. I might pass off my earn jewelry that I have. I may pass that off to my kids if it's something that they're interested in. And then the main ashes go with me. So that's possible. I mean, they're already going to get all the rest of my regular jewelry. Oh, here's more of my um, stuff I've been dealing with. So I'm on my way. I had to drive 2 hours away to get to the exotic animal emergency room, basically. What it was, really great place. And I'm more than halfway there, and I get a call that my dad had been 911 and was back at the hospital. He had had another grand mal stroke, or not stroke, I'm sorry, seizure. Jeez. So he had the one in June, and now he's had another one. But between June and that, he was in and out of the hospital 5 or 6 different times. So I don't know. He's a mess. They think that, because automatically I want to think neurological, but they think that um, he's having some kidney problems, and then they've done so many tests on him from so many different angles and areas. It's ridiculous, with no clarifying answers. They know things, contributors and possibilities, but nothing definite. So back to my marine green. The kidney thing that they come out with was so he's got a kidney specialist now, and he was saying that his proteins are really low and that he was lacking in sodium and magnesium majorly. And he said, the kidney doctor said that being so low could be causing these seizures. And so, like, okay. So he was obviously the IV was handling a bunch of that, and he had special IV bags given to him with that for sodium and magnesium, and sent home with medicine for that too. So that's a thing they're looking at or whatever. That was just not a good day, y'all. Sitting there rolling to the ER with Rocky, and I get that call, and I'm already like I said, more than halfway there, and I was just like, oh. So I called the hospital, talked to the ER people, see what kind of state he was in. He was stable. He was conscious. He was able to talk on the phone to me. He was tired, but he was good. And so I went on instead of turning around and rushing to the hospital to him. I just went on. I knew they were going to admit him and all that stuff. I just wish they'd get him figured out. I hope this is the issue with these seizures, and that by getting those issues regulated in him and the numbers up to where they need to be, I hope it stops, because I know those are I'm not a seizure expert or anything, but I know those are very serious seizures and not good on a person's body, taking a toll on him. And I just want it all to stop. So hopefully that's going to make a difference for him. If he just would do what he's supposed to do and take the medications correctly and all of that, because he's kind of really bad at that part too. But this whole summer has been dealing with that. You know, I had my best friend, I have 4 main women in my in-person day-to-day life that I consider my best friend, and I lost one in June. And then the rest of the summer has been my dad in and out of the hospital. And it's just, ugh. He's 63 years old, so that's going to bother me. A little strip. He's not. I don't consider that old. Like, I know he's older and all that stuff, but like, I don't consider him old, and that's certainly not what I would consider a senior citizen or anything. So, I don't want to have to be going through this with him. Sometimes a good time to lose somebody that you love, but hoping to get some more time out of him.
All right, baby.
What are you doing?
I need a keyboard.
Oh, my daughter, she's sitting over there drawing on her. What's that thing called?
It's a graphics tablet.
A graphics tablet.
Yeah, but do you want the specific brand?
No, what was the one that Jazza uses that you liked? What was that? Something weird.
It's a graphics tablet. It's the it's not the one that Jazza uses. It's the one that something else my T uses. It was a oh my gosh, I can't.
You don't remember
what
now? It's okay, no big deal. It's all right. Anyway, graphics tablet. She's sitting there drawing on that.
Cintiq.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep, that's what it was. A Cintiq. So, like, that's what, if you know what those are, that's what she wanted. And they are really expensive. So she basically has that, but it's a different brand. But it's fine.
Still really good brand.
She's happy with it. But it's that thing that does all that stuff. She likes to color and draw. My son is more of a, he just likes to draw his own stuff. He was never, even when he was little, he wasn't into coloring books that much. He always just wanted the plain paper to draw. I'm like, okay, whatever. He thinks he might, he's not sure, he might be getting into models now. Like he won't like doing he's been watching some YouTube videos about it. He's obsessed with ships and the Titanic, and um, he can name off like 20 or more different ships that have sank, and tell you why and why they shouldn't have, and his theory on what preventative measures could have been done to make them not sink. I told him, I said, well, maybe you'll be an engineer for that and figure it all out. And then my little handheld sharpener's on. One of them anyway. Get my Snoopy. Old Faithful. My old faithful Snoopy. But, you know, like model cars, and you build them and you paint them, and, you know, and then you have them for display. And he thinks that's cool, but he's like, yeah, but then it just sits there. And I was like, okay. So then he was looking at like the RC models, and he was like, well, look, see, we could build that, paint it, do all that work. And then he said, and then we could take it out and play with it. And he's like, I want battleships and big ships, cruise liner things and stuff. So he's been watching some YouTube videos about that, looking at people's different stuff. And some of that stuff's really intricate. I was like, wow. I'm like, you know, there's planes and motorcycles. And he's like, I want ships. And I'm like, okay, never mind. But they had, like, I guess it was a lake or a pond or something. They had like little piers made and little towns and stuff. And they're big, huge. And I mean, bigger, longer. I'm 5'7". And I would have been short laid next to one of these big, huge, like freight carrier things where all the semi truck trailer things, or whatever they're called, all stacked up on there and everything. Somebody's driving it around offshore. I was like, wow, there's a whole world of that stuff. I knew it existed. I just didn't know it was as big of a deal or intricate as it was what I've been seeing. So yeah, he's getting into that. So I'm thinking Christmas, well, his birthday's in November, but Christmas time, he might be getting one of those. They have some that like fire real, you know, obviously not like real guns, but like they have guns that, you know, will pop and make noises, and, you know, like they're firing off and stuff. I'm like, wow. Oh, I seen one that was like a big paddle boat, the big paddle boats in the back. That was cool. My husband back in the day, way long before the kids ever come around, he was into the remote control cars. And that was a pretty expensive hobby. I mean, not like coloring, but, you know, because he was in like the gas powered ones. And, oh boy. But yeah, my son wants ships. My husband wants an airplane to fly. My son wants ships. So, my son's finally catching up to my husband's level of toys. which is funny and sad at the same time. Wish we could go back to when he was a little feller, but I always do the kids' Christmas Eve boxes too for Christmas time, and I think I'll have to get that Titanic DVD put in his Christmas box because they each get like a movie and a book and usually popcorn and hot cocoa or stuff like snacks of sorts. Because it's like you put your new Christmas jammies on and Christmas socks and kick back and read the Christmas story from the Bible, and then the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Those get read, and then watch a movie before bed. Ooh, and every year I always I always get them a new um, specific to them ones, basically. I get them for my husband too. I love Christmas decorations and Christmas ornaments, though. Like I got my husband a couple years ago. I got him the one that was from that movie, A Christmas Story, and the box crate arrives and it says fragile. So he's got a Christmas ornament and it's like a crate and it says fragile on it, and has the leg partially sticking out of it. That's one of his favorite movies. So he got that one. But yeah. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I love hunting for Christmas ornaments specific to certain people and then adding them to the tree. Of course, I get myself one too. Last year, I found a really cute pig one. And I actually found, and I think that's going to be the one I get this year for myself, a box of crowns. And I think it even said Crayola on it. But, so like a box of Crayola crowns. When I found that, I started looking around to see if there was other things like colored pencils, paintbrushes. And I didn't really find any of that type of thing. I found the paint thing. What do they call it? I guess it's just a paint palette. You know, that you stick your thumb through the hole and hang on to it. I saw one that was that, but I'm like, well, you know, it's still art, but like I'm not that I'm a crown user, but I'm not that kind of painter. So I was like, yeah, I'll probably go with the crown one if I can't find any other. So that's like one of our Christmas traditions, though, the Christmas Eve boxes and the Christmas ornaments. I want to say it was in Ria's live on Wednesday. I was there. Somebody said, just for the fun of it, FYI, 15 days, or not 15 days, good Lord, 15 Saturdays until Christmas. I was like, oh, man. Hearing it like that, it's like, wow, that's not that far away. This year has went by so fast. I feel like my kids had just gotten finished with school and started their summer break. And now we're sitting here at a countdown to how many Saturdays are left for Christmas. It's crazy. Mm. He's almost too green. But yeah, summer raced by. We didn't do 80% of what we normally do in a summer. Again, just like last year, which where we usually do a lot more festivals and going to a couple different lakes and playing at the lakes and outdoor concerts. Mud Mania, that's a thing here. Like, oh, Mud Mania, major, huge mudslide, followed out with a big obstacle course, including crawl on your belly sections and through tiny tubes and stuff. Um, but I take the kids to do that. Me and the kids do it. So my mania and going fishing and doing this and doing that and being outdoors, and yeah, we haven't done any of that. We used to go to the fair. Now this year we did go to the fair. Um, we specifically went for the demolition derby, and we did, mess around for a couple hours, and we let the kids do some stuff at the fair. Besides that, before we went to the arena, whatever, I can't think of words today much, to watch the demolition derby. So that was nice. They were super happy, just like my son. He was like, "Oh, finally, we're doing one of our traditions. We're doing something we normally do." And I'm like, "Man, I'll tell you what. I know a lot of people have been struggling, and that it's been hard for everybody, but especially for kids. They're not. It's just been super different, and had a lot taken from them. And mine, they've been troopers. They've really sucked it up and dealt with the situation that we've all been dealing with for pushing on 2 years now. Huh, that's crazy. But, it's been getting to them a little bit more and more. I chose to send them back to school this year instead of keeping them remote. They were completely all remote the whole last year. And they got to start a new school this year. So I sent them. This was their opportunity to, meet new people, meet the people that they go to school with, and see their new school, and meet more kids from their new neighborhood, and just like all that good stuff. And they were happy to do something normal again. That's probably our biggest excursion that we've had since all this mess began. I can't think of. I don't think we've taken them. We didn't do anything like. We have a certain farm we'd always go to for Halloween and get pumpkins, and they have this hayride, and it's like the best hayride that we've ever been on. It's super long, and it's a lot. It's a good one. And I'm hoping to take them there this year because we didn't go last year. And that bummed them out. And mind you, we didn't go the year before because we were dealing with, that's when we had moved my mother-in-law in with me for me to provide her care until the end. And so that whole fall and winter was everything. We gave up everything for her, which, absolutely wouldn't have it any other way. All that time was precious time. And then everything happened, and it was like, ooh. But yeah, anyway, the point is, like everybody, they've missed out on a lot of things that were our normal procedures and traditions for each season. So trying to get back on that some more. We have the Oktoberfest going to be going on soon, and we have Renaissance festivals going on this time of year. And I want to take them. The Renaissance and reenactment type things. We have a park around here that does a lot of reenactment thingies, battles, and different stuff. I don't know what the age, like the clubs that do that, the people that do that kind of stuff. I know they got their own little clubs and world of it, and I just wonder if they have age participation limits or anything, because my son would love that. I told him we need to find out about at his new school. He's in 5th grade, so find out if they have like a drama club situation for his age. Because if they do, he so needs to do that. That's very much up his alley. He's been doing his own reenactments. I think it's on the only video game system they have right now. They had Nintendo Switches, but they both went into an error, and we have to ship them off to get them fixed. And we've been meaning to. We've just been slacking, and we haven't shipped them off. They're all bundled, ready to go, got order numbers on them, the whole thing. Just haven't done it. Shame on us. But they have them the Oculus 2, Quest 2, whatever it's called. And so that's like virtual reality stuff. And they have all these things in there, and they have this Titanic stuff in there. And he likes to play the paintball, but he loves this Titanic thing. And you can go through and take a tour of the ship, and it's like, like you're walking through the actual ship. It looks pretty cool. And so then he proceeds on to reenact the whole entire movie while he's walking around on his ship. And it's so funny and cute. But then I'm amazed because I knew he had watched that movie a lot, but he just about has the whole entire movie memorized word for word from every character. And I'm just like, wow. mind blown. Oh, I never thought about having him dress up for it. He'd like that too. Right now, I got to put him together, making. I got to get him hooked up with an 80s outfit. He's supposed to look super 80s for the homecoming parade. His school, even though he's in grade school still, his school they have a float in the homecoming parade, and he gets to walk in the parade, and he's so excited. And they're all supposed to be decked out in 80s style. So I'm thinking he doesn't have the hair for it, but I'm thinking about, I kind of want to do him like glam rock band. um, Maybe a little bit like Bret Michaels or Sebastian Bach or something like that. And then I thought, I wonder if I know somebody that's got a wig that they wouldn't care if I teased real good. So yeah, I'm kind of have the 80s glam rock vision in my eyes for him right now for his parade walk. And this will be my daughter's first homecoming dance. She's super excited. Yes. I love all kinds of music. I can go back and I can dip into the 1920s and be jamming to some stuff. And I've got that um, 50s and 60s boogie woogie, uh, Jerry Lee Lewis and stuff, because I grew up with my grandpa rocking a piano like that. And then the whole rock, all the way to current stuff. I'm a big Post Malone fan, even. Um, I love all kinds. I like heavy metal, rock, rap, hip hop, all kinds of stuff. Not much into screen metal or anything like that. But 80s rock and glam bands have a special place in my heart. For sure. And they had some of the best ballads. Oh my gosh. It is. And even some of the 70s stuff. Because, I mean, there's certain bands that I love that, you know, were out longer than before they actually got popular. So, but like some AC/DC, all that kind of stuff. Yep. I took the kids to, we got this place uptown, um, this cute park, whatever, has like a man made stream that runs through it. And um, there's a big outdoor pavilion thing. And they do every Thursday night, used to, before. I don't know if they started that this summer. I think they did. I don't know. Anyway, but it's on the river's edge, and it's every Thursday night they would do free concerts. And most of them are actually really good. And so one night it was an AC/DC cover band, and they're supposed to be like super good. And I looked them up, and I'm like, oh wow! So they not only was covering it, but they were kind of like lookalikes too, and they really pegged the look. And they sounded really good. They weren't cheesy, so I'm like, okay, that's on. So I took the kids and my niece, and we went up there and we watched that. It was awesome, and the kids had such a good time. But they listened to all kinds of music too. That's one thing I've tried to do their whole life was expose them to different eras and different genres. I'm all the time telling them not to get, whether it's music, with friends, with whatever, don't lock yourself into like one box, Be diverse. Have a variety. So they know some old school stuff too. Took my son to the mother-son school dance. He was like, I'm going to go say hi to certain few kind of buddies of his. I was like, okay. So he takes off to go say hi to them. And I was chatting with, I don't know, other people. And next thing, and mind you, nobody was dancing. And the next thing I know, I hear this song come on. I was like, oh Lord. I said, that's my kid. Where's he at? I start looking around, and here he comes, trotting across the dance floor, looking at me, saying, come on, Mom. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And I knew that it was him that had written and requested the song. He went up there and requested Boogie Shoes. Because I'm like, what other kid is going to request this song? Me and him went out there, and we were dancing to My Boogie Shoes. And everybody else started joining in, and like the whole rest of the night, everybody was out there dancing. It was cute. He was out there, had them other boys line dancing, the cha-cha slide, and all kinds of stuff. I was just laughing. He is not very shy. I've never told you. He's very, hello, here I am, let's get this going, which is great. My daughter is not like that. She can still be fun, but she's more reserved and shy about things, and it takes her a minute. My son, he ain't got time for all that. Like I took them to Florida one particular occasion. We were at where were we? We were in Venice Beach, because that's the shark tooth hunting capital of the world. So we had to go do some shark tooth hunting because my daughter's a future marine biologist obsessed with sharks. So we feed the need there. And we went to dinner at this place that was on the pier, and there was this like one-man band set up. We were leaving. We were going to walk out on the pier, but we were leaving the restaurant part. We had ate, and he started playing the song, Give Me That Beat, Boy. Is it called that, or just, no, it's called Drift Away. Drift Away. That's what it is, if y'all know the song. I was like, aw. And so I looked at my daughter, and I was trying to snatch her up and get her to dance with me, and she about fell out. She was about ready to die. I tell you, she was just like, She was so embarrassed, and she's looking at me like, Mom. And my son was like, come on, let's go. So I gave up on her, and I went with him, and me and him danced right there at the pier to that song. So now that's like a special song of ours too. She was just so embarrassed. She was like, but there's people, and they were looking at us, and like, so let them look. It's okay. But he did not care. He was like, let's do this. So we did. Oh, that's great, Marilyn. Yeah. See, me and my kids, we do a lot of stuff like that. And they know who all those people are and those movies, a lot of those movies. They even know some of Elvis movies, Kissing Cousins and all that stuff. They're familiar. Me and my daughter, we have a special song too. That's because what? Did you say don't? You tell me don't. You're like, no. You don't want me to tell the story? I think I've already told the story on a live before, but you're like, she's over there. She's over there in her little corner, like, don't. It's so cute, though. It's not bad. Now I have to. I gotta say it now. So we were at a pumpkin fest, and we were walking, trying to decide which little food cart we were going to eat off of. And we're walking through, and the song comes on. It was a Journey song, the "Don't Stop Believing." And I heard that song. I'm like, oh. And she's looking at me. She's like, oh God. She's thinking she's just trying to shrink herself. And she's like, I don't know what you're going to do, but don't do it. She's just like, just don't, Mom, don't. And I started singing. And she's looking at me, and she's trying to look at me like she's giving me the look, like the mom, like she was giving me the look, like, you better stop it right now. And, I was laughing and getting louder. And then she's just trying to, okay, she couldn't stop me, but then she's trying to get me to not be loud. And so the more she was doing that, the louder I would get. And there were other people in the crowd and lines we were passing that were paying attention to this. And I'm like, oh, everybody knows this song. It's okay. And whatever. And she's just like, She's like turning red. She's embarrassed and all this, that, and the other. And finally we stopped and we got in a line, and we're still I'm singing and she's still cringing. And finally the crowd of people around us, and I mean, it was a pretty good amount of people. They all stopped and joined in with me and sang, but they directed straight to her. Everybody was looking at her, singing directly to her, loudly on purpose. And I just was dying laughing. It was the greatest thing ever. And she was so many shades red by that point. And she's just looking like, I can't win. This is, oh my gosh, And so, yeah, now that's our special song. And every time it comes on, and I've requested it at live concerts for her, and they've said her name on stage and started that song, she just looks at me like, what did you do? It's great. And she wants me to get her a Journey t-shirt now. She's been on that kick. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I'm eating it up as long as I can before he don't want to have nothing to do with me neither. And she's 14, he's 10, and they still like me pretty much. We still can have a good time together and do stuff like that. I don't think my daughter would want me to bust out with any of it if she had a bunch of her friends come over or something, but it's going to happen anyway, whether she likes it or not. It's okay. My hope is that she brings home kids that I'm going to give them a dose of it, and they're going to be like, all right, and jump up and join in. I hope there's kids like that. Trying to darken some spots up without using darker colors, because the darker tones I want on the leaves of the pumpkin, or the pumpkin leaves anyway, this pumpkin stem and stuff. Sheesh. I got a Sherry Baldy fall book. I'm going to get into that. I know that I saw some really cute Thanksgiving, specific to Thanksgiving pictures, but then there are, other just generic fall pics that have a variety of pumpkins and gourds and all that stuff. So that'll be. I like coloring that stuff, and I like the clothes, comfies, and all this, that, and the other, but I'm a summer girl. So I'm not excited about it like a lot of people are, like, yay, fall. And I'm like, summer's over. But I do enjoy the colors and stuff. So this is what's going on. My troll boy and a pumpkin. I'm sure I will finish him off cam. Let's see. I'm going to grab one and only thing I've gotten done. So I started her on my last live stream, basically, and I finished her off cam. So this was her. Posted on my Instagram. But in case you didn't see her, but saw me, her. This is that Michaelina pick that I ended up doing. Mary has suggested the green lips, and I just carried it. And I'm like, I love that. I would have never picked green lips, and it all started with the lips. I would have never chose that myself. So I'm super glad she suggested that to me, because I really ended up liking it a lot. So that was her from the last one. So I'll have to get him finished up. One of my whips is the Red Panda page in Kirby Rosane's book, Fragile World. I was doing that for Rita's hashtag. So I need to get back to him. And then I have a rain art that I had started. Like, wow. I'm going to be able to do this month just because I don't. And then we revisit my rock. This little, I was scared it would fall and bust on the tiles down here, so I didn't want to keep it in a drawer. So thank everybody for coming. If you haven't already, hit for me. Come back for more. I'm trying to do it every Saturday. I didn't last Saturday because of this happening. Threw me off my game. Just, one of them things. But trying to get back in the swing of it and get back on my whips and just start being functioning. And thank you everybody for all the kind messages, thoughts, words, prayers that I've seen on Facebook and Instagram. I appreciate it. It's all very much appreciated. Take all them good vibes and prayers I can get. Thank you so much, Tammy, for the picture. You know what? And you asked me, I know I saw that. Let me go check. Pull it up on my. You care if I show your sketch, Tammy? Can I share that with everybody before I go? It's amazing. Light there. Ooh, there we go. That's a little better. Overhead light was washing that out. That's incredible, Tammy. Very talented. I've seen some of your other work, and that one, like that piano piece. I loved all those other ones you showed, but the one with the piano, that struck me too because, like I said, my grandpa playing the piano, and boy, he could jam a piano. But you are very talented. I do not have that type of freehand skill, but I appreciate it very much. Thank you again to everyone, and I will see you around the streams for sure. Thanks for coming. Time. Later, y'all.